Cryptozoology is, by its very nature, elusive. Thus, we cannot say that we are exactly bringing you the facts, but we will do our best to help you see these mythical legends as we do. So sit back, relax, and wait. What's that behind you? Never mind. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to another episode of Cryptids on Cryptids, a folklore podcast. I am your host, Martin.
And I'm your host, Sid.
And so I've got on the document Melon Heads.
Melon Heads.
Is that
So
just a real big insult? Just like, you fucking melon head.
I mean, I guess I did mess up and it should be Melon Heads 2 words instead of Melon Heads 1 word.
Oh, okay.
Because I think the document decided that we were going to be using Melon Heads derogatory instead of Melon Heads informational.
It's always derogatory. That's the thing.
I mean, I hope not, because these guys, they're not okay. They're mean, yes, but I feel like they have a reason to be.
Well, see, my theory with them so far is all I know is they got a head shaped like a melon, and
They do.
the only thing I know about getting a head shaped like a melon is from watching Tom and Jerry, and then like Jerry would just eat a whole block of cheese or a melon or just anything, and then his head would just become that shape.
So you're saying cartoon physics, these guys just decided they were going to have
Yeah,
a
they all
picnic,
just
and then
swallowed a watermelon whole.
they got stuck like that.
Yep.
I can't imagine that would be like a pleasant experience.
I mean, unhinging
Like-
your jaw and swallowing a watermelon whole would be...
I'm considering cartoon physics in this and saying, like, if I physically could swallow a watermelon whole, I don't think I would, simply because the taste of the rind would be terrible. Just so bad.
Well, I mean, like, you know, you get a little sugar on there. Like,
On the rind?
the outside tastes, like, if you don't bite into it, when you bite into the rind, that's when the bad taste happens. If you just lick it, it's like plastic.
I
Get a little
don't
sugar on
really
there.
enjoy the taste of plastic.
It's like flavorless, is what I mean. It's like...
You've eaten plastic? Hang on. No, we gotta
not
come back to
eaten,
this.
Like, you lick it when you lick it, right?
I
See,
don't
you're
think
not
I've
biting
ever-
into this thing, so that's the point, is you don't have to
I've-
worry about biting and getting
like,
the bad taste.
I've licked metal, but I haven't licked plastic.
Why haven't you licked plastic, Sid?
It's never been on my to-do list, I guess.
Alright.
I guess it never just made it up there.
As
like,
a
I've licked
child, you
metal.
were never like, oh, this is like a thing. It's plastic
No.
fruit.
My
I'm gonna lick
my
that.
mom got me the human equivalent of a chew toy. I think they're called teethers.
Are
And
they
she would
plastic?
basically just they're rubber.
Okay.
So they're like a rubber compound, and she would just throw those at me to prevent me from chewing my way out of things.
Well, see, I'm not talking about chewing it. Because if you chew, like, plastic or you chew, like, you know, rubber, you get the bad taste. But if you just, like,
Oh,
lick
wait.
it...
I think I have licked plastic because I've chewed on a mechanical pencil.
So just, like, just take a mechanical pencil, just lick it right now. Tastes like
Right
nothing.
now?
Yeah, it tastes like nothing. This is the point
Are
I'm
you
trying to
telling me-
prove, is the watermelon
No, hang
rind
on.
would taste like nothing if you were just swallowing it whole.
I physically have to lick one of my pencils now. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab a pen. Is it okay if it's a pen, not a pencil? 'Cause
As
I don't
long
think
as it's
I have a
plastic.
mechanical pencil. I think this is plastic. Am I licking this on our podcast?
Yeah,
is
do
this what
it.
we're
Just
doing?
do it.
Okay, fine.
I'm proving a point.
It doesn't. Oh my god, it doesn't taste like it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, is you have to bite into it to get the bad taste. So if you just took a watermelon rind, it doesn't matter when you bite into it, it does taste bad. That's a fact. But if you
That's a
just
fact.
swallow the watermelon whole to become a melon head, like Tom or Jerry or any other cool cartoon fellow, you wouldn't taste it. So,
We are 5 minutes into the podcast and we've been debating the semantics of eating a melon head.
well, yeah, this is how you become a melon head, is you just swallow it whole, right?
Actually. Okay.
See, the
So,
reason I know that's the truth is, Sid, you wouldn't let me go on a 5-minute rant about swallowing a melon whole
no, okay, I
without it
wouldn't.
being correct, right?
Okay, it's not
Right?
correct,
Okay.
but okay,
I'm hurt.
follow me through. So, these guys are from about 3 different locations. So, melon heads come from specifically American folklore. They're not necessarily, they're kind of a weird, it's a weird cross between like a cryptid and a folklore as far as people say they've seen it.
I love
So
when you
it's
just
technically
are
a
a
cryptid.
folklore.
Oh, I botched that. Is folklore?
Is folklore.
Our folklore. Our folklore.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
Time's not real.
English is made up. All languages are made
English
up.
is made up. All language is simply just a concept that we invented in order to ease communication. And I'm failing. So
Yeah.
they're from folklore, specifically from American folklore in Connecticut, Ohio, and that state up north, Michigan.
Yeah.
The description of these guys is pretty steady in the fact that they are contextual. They're described as the same no matter where you find them, as just small humanoids with just a massive noggin.
Now, can I ask, is it like, does it look like a melon? Like, does it have like the green kind of look of like a watermelon, or does it have the kind of a little bit porous of like a regular melon or a cantaloupe?
Okay. So,
or is it smooth?
Yes and no.
Oh.
Yes and no. So,
is it just a head that's shaped like a melon? Because I got news for you, Sid. Every head is shaped like a melon.
Okay, I'm gonna need. I'm gonna give a quick gross warning before I get into exactly what happened here with these guys. So basically, there are different folklore depending on where these guys are from. So in Michigan, they have one sort of story. In Ohio, they have another story, and in Connecticut, it's a third. So we're gonna go through, I think, by place.
So do they look different in each place?
No, they look the same.
Okay, so I was still trying to grasp, like, does it just look like a human head but just bigger?
Yes.
Okay.
Just
See,
like a
that's what I was trying to ask
head.
you, and then you just kind of like breezed on by it.
Okay, no, I think I missed that bit because I guess I'm about to explain their. Okay, so they're a melon head, but there is there's a medical reason why. There is an actual condition that will make you look like this. So, pretty much, there's a different story for each place on how this happened, but there is a condition called how it happened because they all look the same, but then each place has a different, like, this is why they have this condition.
Okay.
So pretty much there is a condition called hydrocephalus. Hydrocephalus.
When you get syphilis in a lake.
No.
Okay. Benjamin Franklin had it.
Did he really?
He had syphilis.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. He's a big.
Why do you know that on command?
Why don't you know it? He went to a bunch of sex parties.
Huh.
Yep. I'm here to talk about cryptids and ruin the founding fathers for you. Next up, Thomas Jefferson.
Next up.
He was a dick.
No. I mean, he was, but. So, the condition is called hydrocephalus, which basically is you get spinal fluid inside your brain and it causes rapid head growth to accommodate the pressure. So.
Man,
this is
really sorry. I really wanted to go on a rant about Thomas Jefferson.
Go.
Did you know that he had his bed put it's like in a hallway between his office and like the bedroom, quote unquote. and he
I
would
did know
always,
about
yeah,
that.
he would always get in from his office side, and his wife would get in from the other side, and so his bed was just in this fucking weird hallway, like some kind of lunatic.
I could never imagine living like that.
Yeah, absurd.
That's so weird.
Why, dude?
I
Like, why not just, leave the hallway a hallway and then walk there?
I mean, I guess
Like,
part of part of me looks at Thomas Jefferson as the recluse that he was in the fact that he built a weird ass mansion so he didn't have to talk to people
I mean,
and he just lived there all the time. So it makes sense that he would do weird shit. Like
all the
have
people
your
back then were weird. That's just facts.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
There's a reason Lin-Manuel Miranda made a musical about Hamilton, and that's because he was the most normal. And that guy, like, was still a freak.
The fact that you called Hamilton a freak on our Cryptids podcast, I think is a good way to start.
Yeah.
Is a good way to start my day. Is a cool way to start my Sunday. Uh
Yep.
oh dear. I mean, I can't argue with you because I don't.
He
Like
had
at
an
one
affair
point,
and
I
then
knew a whole
published a
bunch.
paper about it. Why the fuck?
He did do that. I don't know. No
Why?
one would have known if he didn't do it, and then he just decided to do it.
I mean, people would have found out eventually, but, like...
I mean, everyone finds out about everything eventually, but like, that's pretty much the equivalent of doxing yourself on social media
Yeah.
in olden times.
He was like, in, like, maybe a couple of years, they'll find out that I did this terrible thing, so I'm just gonna fucking live stream it.
Good God.
Yeah.
Good God. Good God. I don't
If he
think.
coulda,
I
he
feel
woulda.
like if he coulda, he woulda. Feral, the lot of them.
Yeah, anyway.
Feral, awful,
Bunch
bad.
of freaks. Anyway, tell me about these melon heads.
So, I don't even think I mentioned this. We talked about that these guys have or are said to be children with hydrocephalus, which is why they have a tiny stature and a large head.
Not syphilis,
But-
cephalus.
Cephalus.
Different things.
Yes. I think it's pronounced hydrocephalus anyway.
Yeah, that's...
With a
Yep.
Yeah, it looks to be that way. But we didn't mention that these guys, I don't think I mentioned that these guys are actively hostile. So like
Melon heads? Or the
sometimes-
founding
yeah.
fathers?
both. Both.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair and true.
The melon heads are actively hostile. Like they will go to attack you. They will hide around their place of origin and attack people if they get too close. They literally just wake up and immediately choose violence regardless of situation.
You know? Relatable.
Just woke up, chose violence.
Okay, so tell me why.
So it depends on the area. So we're
Okay.
going to start with Michigan and work our way down.
Yeah, start with the worst and end with Connecticut.
And with Connecticut. So we're going to start with Michigan. So these guys are said to reside around a place called Felt Mansion, although they have been seen in the surrounding Ottawa County. So they're rumored to be the children with hydrocephalus who lived at a nearby insane asylum. And so after
Lit.
the children had endured a combination of physical and emotional abuse sort of at the hands of the asylum, they were diagnosed feral, which I did not know you could do. And just simply released into the forest around the asylum.
That's like the asylum didn't have any more money to take care of these kids, so they were like, well, you're feral, go live in the woods.
That's pretty much what happened, is they just...
Like, imagine leaving your kid there and then, like, coming back and they're just like, yep, we let him free in the woods. He's living his best life. And it's like, probably not. He's a child.
Yeah. Because it's sort of implied that they became sort of crazed after enduring trauma and then just went wild. And so they just couldn't handle him and set him free. But the Historical Society of the area sort of is insistent that there was never and has never been an asylum there, but that there was a prison. So
So
that's not comforting.
yeah.
but the tales are largely like kept alive as teenagers sort of explore the abandoned area around the Felt Mansion. Because I guess I don't know if it's abandoned now, but it was abandoned at some point. I think that
Yeah, it might have been
there are like
bought or something. I don't know.
yeah, there's like two different versions of it. So the first one was that the asylum was the thing, and the second one was that the children lived in the mansion,
Mm.
right? And then retreated to like a cave system, or apparently there's like an abandoned zoo nearby. If we can just take a second to talk about this, in like what is pretty much like a 5 mile radius, you have a possible insane asylum that the Historical Society asserts never existed, uh, a prison, a mansion,
And a zoo.
and a zoo?
I mean, yeah,
An abandoned zoo.
it really sounds
So
like if you want to know the story of the Michigan Melon Heads, just watch X-Men 2 and pretend they got melons in their heads.
I was gonna say, like, this sounds like straight up somebody took every Scooby Doo setting and just mashed it together and was like, this is the town that we live in now.
Who's to say it's not just Scooby-Doo?
It really does
It
sound
really
like it, because
does.
it's literally like they lived in the mansion, retreated to a cave system nearby, which I don't know if you've watched Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated, but there's like
There's
a
a
whole
lot of
cave
caves.
system plot line in that. And so this mansion, like derivative of the legend, say that there was a doctor who owned that mansion, and that
Do you own the caves?
I
Sorry,
I assume
irrelevant
so.
question.
I don't know, but that the doctor was the one who had like given the children this condition,
Oh.
and they planned to kill and like escape from him. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and so it said that the children had no place to hide the body after they were apparently successful in this endeavor. So
Oh,
they
nice.
cut it up into tiny pieces and just scattered it around the mansion like a Horcrux.
In
and
case he
so
reformed? The
I
fuck?
guess because the teenagers who go and like investigate the mansion say they see ghosts of the children and shadows of the doctor's murder through light coming from open doors.
Whack.
There's literally a movie about it. It's a 2011 film. It's called The Melon Heads.
Oh, well, I know what I'm doing with my evening.
Oh my god. Like, I can't imagine watching that movie because it's such a trip of different places that these kids got to. And also, it does imply that the Melon Heads have committed a murder.
Yes, at least one.
Like straight up.
You did say they wake up every day and choose violence, so...
They do, and they continue to do so in every location they exist. Because, like, the Michigan one is just bonkers because there's so many just things that happened. Like, imagine being like, oh, I have to escape this mansion because I'm being held hostage. Where will I go to escape? Oh, there's a convenient abandoned nearby zoo. Like,
I'm wondering how abandoned.
I don't know. It's at least within walking distance because if a kid could get there,
Yeah.
like, shoot, I'm assuming it's pretty abandoned.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think if it wasn't abandoned, kids could just get in there, you know?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think the whole thing is that, like, it originally, I don't think it's like a zoo, as in we both grew up near areas that have really, really nice zoos. I think it's more like along the lines of a petting type zoo, like a very, very standard zoo where it's not necessarily like wildlife conservation, but it like an 80s version of the zoo where, like, look, we put a tiger in a box. Like, I think it's that kind of setup.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a massive sprawling outdoor complex. I think it's like, here's a couple.
It's like, here's a couple cages, one has a tiger, and one
here's a cool box we painted to look like a forest. It's got a bear in it.
Yeah, and that bear could be dead, could be really
I actually think it would be super entertaining to go to a zoo that had like hologram animals.
You know? Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that be cool?
I mean, it would,
Like
for me, very much. Like, one of the things, whenever I go to a zoo, I see the animals and I'm like, I really want to pet it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that
I
would
feel like
alleviate some of that stress for me.
and also I feel like it would be a cool opportunity to like get people closer to animals without having to worry about getting them bit. I guess because like you could program a hologram with like tiger-like behavior or like lion-like behavior. I feel like we've reached that point technologically where that's not too far of a jump.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like making the algorithm for behavioral stuff would be pretty easy, but I don't know that hologram tech
Hologram tech quite isn't that far
isn't
yet, but
quite
the
there yet.
algorithm is pretty doable, I think.
Yeah,
If they can have holographic Hatsune Miku have a cool concert, I want a holographic lion.
yeah. Didn't they bring back like Michael Jackson or something for
There
like?
have been insane holographic concerts.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
disturbing. It's
Yeah.
kind of
It's kind of I feel like people holograms make me uncomfy
yeah.
cuz that's two steps away from like
Ghosts.
sci-fi's.
Two steps
That
away
would be
from ghosts.
such a cool haunted house opportunity though, is holographic ghosts.
Yeah,
Like you don't have to worry about
getting
as somebody
punched.
who has been physically removed from a haunted house multiple times,
Yeah,
it removes the strain on the actors.
yeah.
And you could have them in more comfortable areas where they're farther away from the human population.
Sid, can I ask you a question?
You may.
How many actors did you punch?
Just two.
Sid, that's more than
And
I have.
it wasn't okay, one of them I did not punch. It was technically a suplex. Uh
It was a hit, Sid, and a hit is
it
bad.
was it was a suplex. Uh and the other one I did not punch. I kicked them on accident
You
because
going
they were grabbing
fucking
at my ankles and I needed their hand off my foot. And I did not know.
going fucking WrestleMania on them. Holy
I
shit.
panicked. I think I've told the story on the podcast. It was that they ran at me and I didn't know what to do, and so I just stood to the side and put out my arm. And
Yeah, that's a clothesline, Sid. That's not a suplex. A
no, I
suplex
went
is
down with them.
you grab their neck and you fucking
Oh,
yeah, that's what a
no, I did
suplex
not do
is.
that. I clotheslined them then.
Yes, you clothesline them.
I stepped to the side and put my arm out because I didn't know what to do.
Okay, that's see
Uh,
that
that's more on them than I feel like on me.
no, you still took direct action, but it's not quite as violent as a suplex. A suplex is
No.
like they're running towards you and you run towards them, and then as you're going by them, you grab their neck and pull them down. That's
Oh,
what a
no, I did
suplex
not
would
do
have
that.
been.
No, I clotheslined them. I was leaving and panicking because I felt so bad after this happened because the only reason they ran into me in the first place was I was standing next to my friend and I pushed my friend out of the way, and then as I pushed them out of the way, my arm was in the space they were aiming for and they ran into my arm at full speed.
Well,
And they hit it and went down. And so I went, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And they got up and like coughed and waved me off, and my friend told me, "I think you just suplexed that dude." And I was so panicked that we just left.
that's kind of like that's fair.
Because like it's not I did not take exact direct action and my intention was never to hurt. I just I tend to be in places I should not be in a lot of the times. Like people will go for things and I don't read their body movements well enough, so I end up being in the space they're aiming for. And then I just get hit
Hmm.
or they get hit or something happens.
Yeah, I
Uh
mean, I think we definitely talked about this on the podcast, but like,
yeah.
if you know your response to fight or flight is to fight, don't go to
Don't.
haunted houses.
I
Don't
don't
do
go to
that.
haunted houses. I don't.
Do
I
not.
went I've only been to two haunted houses and bad things have happened both times, and so now I don't go anymore.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, no, not a good thing. I think I did I don't know if I'm sure you're familiar with this. Halloween's at like Cedar Point.
Yeah.
Have you been to those?
No.
Basically this is the only reason I think I was able to do it. I went to one Hollow weekend, and they have like actors just sort of roaming around in areas called spook zones. So basically, if you're in the spook zone, you are fair game to be jump scared.
Mm-hmm.
But they have these like light up necklaces that you can buy that just say "Please don't scare me" on them, and so I'm pretty sure they're designed for children.
That
Uh,
it's prime target.
but I
Got a big
bought
light.
one.
Oh, you. Oh, what?
I bought one because I was like, this is not going to go well. I didn't know it was a Hollow weekend. I was just like looking to have fun with friends, but I guess it was. So I was noticing that like all these people in costumes were starting to come out, and I just had the oh shit. I don't want to have what happened in the haunted houses happen just in this open space. So I bought one of the "Please don't scare me" necklaces, and I think one of the actors, I guess, was on break and came up to me and was like, "Hey, is there like a reason you're wearing that? Because they are designed for children." And I was like, "Yeah, it's for everyone else's safety." I was like, I am very, very bad with responses, and I tend to like
Yeah.
panic, and I don't want anybody to get hurt, so I'm wearing this because I'm twitchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't watch horror movies either because of that. I don't
I
handle
don't
jump scares
watch
well.
horror movies because horror movies are bad.
That's also valid. I mean, some horror movies are good.
Eh,
Like,
less than most.
I've never really seen, I think I've seen one horror movie, and it was The Conjuring, and I fell asleep midway through, which
Yeah.
tends to be my response to movies.
Yeah. No, it's yeah. Horror movies are just
Yeah.
they're super
Not,
predictable in a way that's not interesting, and I don't like them. Don't at me.
you know what was a really good movie, though, that I'm not sure it's a horror movie, but it's more of a mystery?
Sure, hit me.
Clue.
You know what?
Like,
That's a comedy.
Clue's a good movie.
Clue's a comedy.
It was put in the horror section of Netflix, which is why I mention it.
That's dumb. It's a comedy.
It's so good. Because, like, it was on Netflix, I think, for like a while, and I watched it with a friend of mine on Halloween, and I laughed so hard I cried. It was so good.
Yeah, it's Clue is one of the best movies. If you haven't seen
Yeah.
Clue, go watch Clue. Anyway, what the fuck were we talking about?
Melon Heads and their Ohio legends.
Okay, we finished the Michigan part.
We
They
finished
chopped
Michigan.
the kids chopped up the guy and they left him all over the place.
Correct.
Go explore that mansion if you have the free time.
Don't actually. I think it's illegal.
Send me a postcard from the zoo.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So, for the Ohio version, again, we have another doctor. But this time he's in the Cleveland suburb of Kirtland. So,
Okay.
the local legend is that the Melonheads were orphans under like the care of a mysterious person known as Dr. Crow, spelled various ways, or Dr. Melonhead, which is very, very funny to imagine your name being Dr. Melonhead.
I like the idea that he was like, well, I've got a melon head, and all these kids have a melon head, so let me try to figure this out.
I mean, yeah.
Like, are they
But
his kids, or
they are orphans that he adopted, had watch over. Instructions unclear. This man got a hold of orphans, and
I hate the way you said that. I hate that. He just
like,
got a hold of them.
I don't like it. Doesn't it's completely unclear. This is implied to be like ages ago,
He made
and
them.
so
He made orphans.
oh god. For a second, you said he made them, and I was like, they're orphans, and then you were like, he made them into orphans, which is awful.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
we were gonna vilify him anyway, right? So, like,
oh, absolutely.
go
it's
the
about to
extra
happen.
mile.
So the whole thing is this Dr. Crow was said to perform unusual experiments on the kids, who then like developed into these melon heads with the large hairless heads and sort of like undernourished
Oh, they're hairless.
bodies.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't have any hair.
Okay. I was
So, like, some of
imagining
the
them with
accounts-
like a very, very small bowl cut on the top of the melon.
No.
I think that'd be
That is
really
a
funny.
very funny image.
I think that'd be really funny.
Uh, so they don't have hair. Some of them do, some of them don't. Uh, but it's basically saying, like, the accounts are that the children already had uh hydrocephalus, and that Crow just injected more fluid into their brains to make their heads bigger. But the
I feel
legend
like it is
continues.
important that they're children, right? Because they got that
Mhm.
malleable skull.
Yeah, it is. It is always children because they are small with large heads. And so then the legend takes a bit of a turn.
Okay.
So it's said that the children killed Crow, burned the orphanage, uh, fled to the surrounding forest, and now supposedly feed on babies.
Why
Um,
babies?
I don't know. It doesn't. It's never clear or explained. It's just said that they do that, and that you can see them along Wisner Road in Kirtland and Chardon Township.
Chardon. I don't know why. It's just funny.
Chardon.
Sorry. Look.
Yeah. It's very, like, these guys are very, there's never like an explanation on how the escalation happened. It's just escalation and then nothing. Uh
Well, it's
that
escalation and then they eat babies, Sid. I mean,
I don't understand where the eating babies comes from, but
maybe,
it's
some dude with a large head ate a baby once, and they were like, he's a melon head.
I guess. I mean, I imagine he'd have to be tiny though, because melon heads usually aren't bigger than like 3 to 4 feet tall.
And that's with a head that's like, you know,
That's with the
a
noggin.
foot and a
That's with the
half,
noggin.
big noggin.
Yeah,
So
that includes
they're
that
very tiny
includes
lads.
helmet room. Yeah, they're not big.
Wow, okay.
No,
Maybe
I need you
they're.
to. Yeah, they do look like hot air balloon people.
Well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned balloons,
Yeah?
I've got a theory.
Hit me with your theory. Oh no. Hit me with your theory.
Here's a bird with a balloon on his head. Looks like a man eats a baby.
I. Hmm. Hmm.
Look, if
Hmm.
we look at the size ratio here, foot and a half for the head, 2 feet for the body. I
I.
mean, it's like a little bit a large bird, but could be a bird.
I. I'm pretty sure these are children. I'm like at least 98% sure these are children.
Yeah, I mean, children could look like birds, Sid.
I. What child do you know looks like a bird? What child do you know that looks like a bird?
Bird children.
Bird children. Bird children aren't people children.
Like eggs.
Eggs.
Yep.
No.
Same vibe
No.
as
No.
melons.
No, no, no. No. None of that. We're not doing this.
Outside of egg tastes like nothing. Go look an egg.
I'm not going to go lick an egg. I draw the line at licking an egg. I'd have to get up out of this chair.
I mean, Sid, maybe they're a weird type of bird where the eggs move around. It's a new type of bird. And the melon heads are just the babies.
I'm not gonna. No.
Those are
No.
eggs. The melon
No.
heads are eggs.
No.
For bigger, cooler, powerful birds.
For bigger, cooler, powerful birds.
Yeah, Sid. Maybe.
I don't even have words. Bigger, cooler, powerful birds. I think you just described live birth. Like, an egg with legs is just a baby.
No, because it's
That's
born
just
as
a
an egg, and then it
baby.
just becomes, it grows
Are you saying
legs.
the egg just falls away and they just turn into just a baby bird, like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly? Are you saying that this is a chrysalis step in the bird
Yeah.
life cycle now?
Yes, I am. The
Okay.
birds have evolved.
No, not like that, they didn't. I feel like that's just inconvenient. I feel like that's just bad evolution.
Uh huh.
Are you looking up
No.
bird children?
Nope.
I
Not
can
at
hear
all.
you typing. I don't know if they can hear you typing, but I can hear you typing.
Well. Yeah.
Oh god.
Is
Do you
is that all for Ohio?
Yeah, do you want to talk about Connecticut now?
Yeah, I do want to talk about Connecticut. I'll read it right from the sheet, actually. It says Connecticut, their eggs for bigger, more powerful birds.
No, no, you wrote that there. You wrote that there. Get out of my document.
Okay.
This is you. He took advantage of the fact that the legend of Connecticut is tucked somewhere else.
Yep.
Oh god.
It says right there, Sid.
You wrote it there. I can check the Google Doc edit history. Last edit made seconds ago by Martin. There it is. They're eggs for bigger, more powerful birds. Get out.
I mean, it's just, Sid.
I'm lightheaded. I'm lightheaded. Do we want to talk about Connecticut now?
Sure. We can talk about Connecticut now.
Oh god. They're not eggs for bigger, more powerful birds.
They could be.
You are welcome to champion your theory.
Well, if they're not eggs for bigger, more powerful birds, Sid, where did they go?
Oftentimes into the woods.
But after that, where are they now?
Ate babies, fought people in the area.
Well, where are they now, Sid?
I don't know. Probably still in the woods somewhere.
Maybe.
Choosing violence every morning, like a cup of coffee.
Maybe they're in the sky.
No. I'm not having the image of a melon head metamorphosizing into a bird and then flying
They
the
don't
fuck away.
metamorphosize.
I'm not doing that.
They don't metamorphosize. They hatch.
They hatch. I hate it. I hate it. Oh no, I hate it. They have to have hands. You think they're cutting a doctor up with their feet? Their weird little bird feet?
Look, there's hands and legs on the egg.
You're saying they put hands on the egg?
There's
That's uncomfy.
There's hands and legs that grow from the egg. It's first just an egg, then
that's just a body. You've just made a body. You've just taken more steps.
there's an egg, and then it's got hands and legs later, and then it hatch, and then it's a bigger, cooler, more powerful bird.
A cooler, more power. I hate it. I hate it.
The next step in birds. First dinosaurs, then birds. Now kind of back to dinosaurs.
No.
This time,
no.
eggs have hands and feet.
You've literally made egg 2 egg electric boogaloo. Like.
No. This is bird 2. Birds fly again.
Bird 2 egg electric boogaloo?
No. Bird 2. Too fast to birdious.
Two birdies. Bird 2, new egg, 2 birdies.
Yeah. Look, it's just there's more bird.
Let's talk about Connecticut, please, because if we go one more second on birds, I'm gonna lose it.
Okay. Well, fair warning, there are birds in Connecticut, so watch out.
There are birds in Connecticut.
Watch out.
There are also melon heads in Connecticut. especially Southwest Connecticut, for Fairfield County, New Haven County, uh, that sort of area.
Okay.
So there's a couple different communities that have these tales, and then they go into like specifics. I was able to find like the specific counties that have it, but I'm not going to list them because it's a lot of them.
Okay.
And they all have names that are very much Connecticut. I don't know what it is about the state of Connecticut. I mean, no offense, but it just seems so English in a way. Like all of the names seem like things that I would expect to see in an English city, like
Well,
Southbury.
there's a reason for that, Sid. It's because everyone there
That's
came
because
from
everyone there
England.
was English. Yeah, that's a good
And
point.
then they were like, look, it's England too. We're doing it again, but now.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I don't. They're very English county names. They all seem very, very posh, fancy. I don't know. Uh,
Like they should be having tea and crumping.
like I'm pretty sure that's not the word.
It's the
I'm
American
pretty
version.
sure crumping is a dance style.
Yeah, it's the
I
American
could
version.
go for a crumpet. Of crumpets? Are you trying to tell me that either Americans call crumpets crumping, or
Yeah,
that
no, instead of
the
crumpets, they
English
just
dance
crump.
style crumping they call crumping? like, like the
I'm saying instead of having tea and a crumpet to go with it, they have tea and they crump. They do crumping. Is crump a thing that you can say with your word mouth? I hate that.
I don't know. I don't know. I can look it up. You want me to look it up? Let's find out.
No thanks.
Also, you should look up what a melon head looks like.
I did, and they look like they have butts on their heads.
They do.
You never told
Oh,
me it was like two melons in one head, and
it
it looks like a
they
butt.
look. It does look like a butt. Crumping is spelled with a K. Fun fact.
Yeah, well, that's just the Brits for you.
Uh, there are lots of dance styles that I just learned about. Uh, where is my melon head research? There it is. No melon heads, only crumping.
Got lost in the crumping.
Absolutely lost in the sauce. I guess okay. So for the Connecticut version, crumping aside, there are a few different legends here.
Okay.
Most of them fall under the same like line of Fairfield County was the location of an asylum for criminally insane that burned down, which resulted with the death of all the staff, most of the patients, with like a few inmates escaping, supposedly surviving and like living in the woods.
Okay.
In this legend, these are adults, and it states that the Melon Heads' appearance is the result of them resorting to cannibalism in order to survive the winters of the region, and to inbreeding, which caused them to develop hydrocephalus.
See, I like this theory a lot more, actually.
So there are retellings of this story that change the asylum or the prison with like a business or like a campground. And I'm just gonna say, thinking of this legend with a campground is terrifying, because that does just imply that like a camp burned down over the summer and like they never looked for the survivors.
They just went nuts.
Or like a place of business burned down and they didn't take like just very like either children, like camp goers are usually children just going feral in the woods like immediately.
The thing is that like it kind of supposes that like I accidentally just portmanteaued supposes and proposes, which is not a word.
Hell yeah.
Hell anyway, yeah. It kind of supposes that the people wherever they were from had like no logical thought, like maybe let's follow this road. Like just because the building burns down does not mean like the whole society burns down.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like with so many places, like even if you're camping on like the side of a river, like there's a way you got there. Follow it.
Yeah, like it makes, like, I can't believe the first reaction is just to immediately go, like, it burns down and you don't even wait. You just run into the woods and go feral. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
immediately.
So
No
it
hesitation.
kind of makes more sense to me that it would be like an asylum or something like that where people are not necessarily like crazy or anything like that, but like people in asylums are drugged up a lot. You know what I mean? And often were like brought there, you know, so they wouldn't like know exactly how to get back or which way
Well, I
to
mean, like,
go or
usually if
even
you're
where they
at,
were,
like,
you know, 'cause they're
well,
drugged up.
yeah, I mean, if it's a camp, I guess, like, if it's a camp or a business, if it's a camp, you're in the woods. Like, I would hope you'd know at least a little bit of survival skills. Also, why were you at camp in the fall?
Well,
That's a weird thing to do.
if it's a camp or a business, like there's no
There's
reason
someone
that I
coming to
can
get
see.
you.
Well, not even that. It's like there's no reason that I can see that you wouldn't follow logical thought of like there's a way that I got here. Like just because our building or like campground burned, like this doesn't mean we just run off into the woods and do dumb shit. Like
Well, yeah. I mean,
why would
there's
you
also
do
the bit
that?
with,
Like if
I
there's a way
guess,
you got there and you have rational thought to be able to be like, okay, this is how I got here. Let's go back that way and see what we can find. Like, you know,
I guess with an asylum, part of me is like, I understand why it went
there's
like that. Just because if it's an asylum, it usually implies like you were sent there with no date of return, if that makes sense. So, like, if an
yeah,
asylum burns down, like, people will go and look. Yeah, especially like this is in the 1960s. Like, you'll send a search party out, but it'll be hard to find people because, like, they've just lost everything they ever knew, you know? And, but if it's a camp and if it's a business, I feel like there's, like, you expect people to come home from a business and, like, parents send their children to camp. I feel like someone would
yeah.
find you. Like,
Yeah,
it just doesn't
no,
make any
yeah, the
sense
point I
that
was
they,
making was like
yeah.
there's a reason like I can believe this would be an asylum because there is like some precedence to there not being an ability to have rational thought. And that's like not just because like, you know, I'm not saying like oh they're nuts, you know, they can't figure it out. I'm saying like in asylums a lot of the patients were drugged. A lot of the patients were like pretty much tortured until they were like actually insane. So like
They're not
yeah,
gonna know what's going on. Yeah.
especially in the 1960s. Yeah, like if
The
your building
60s.
burned down that like it's all you ever known, and you're like off your fucking ass on some like Xannies or whatever, like
Jesus.
you're just you're just zooting off into the woods and no one's gonna fucking find you.
I've
Exactly.
never heard anyone use that as a verb before.
What?
Uh,
Zooting?
yeah.
Yeah, you're just going.
I'm looking up. Uh, oh, Xanax was invented in the 1960s.
Yeah, fucking nailed it.
Huh. I looked it up. I was curious. Oh, it's a guy. I'm distracted.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, yeah, no, dude. You
um.
know that's what I'm saying is
So
there's like there's like some precedence for there not being like rational thought of those people. But like for a camper business, like they're probably not drugged up, you know? Like
also, you drove here. Like, if it's a business, you drove here.
you got here somehow and you know how to get back. Like it's not just like end all be all, you know?
Yeah. Imagine, like, a building burns down in a city and then everyone's immediate response is to go absolutely feral.
Yeah, it's like if my apartment complex burned down and everyone decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm not gonna go to the road right next to the apartment complex. I'm gonna go in the woods across the street and I'm gonna fucking go absolutely nuts and do cannibalism and inbreeding for decades.
Do cannibalism.
Yeah.
Uh,
You can say it like that, it's a crime.
commit cannibalism.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do cannibalism. Uh, there is. Are you searching that up?
No.
Uh, there is a second variation of the woods. The Melon Heads are descendants of a colonial era family from Shelton Trumbull who were banished after accusations of witchcraft. So they retreated into the woods, and the appearance of the Melon Heads is therefore a direct inbreeding. So then there's an allegation that the Melon Heads from this area prey upon humans who wander into their territory. Uh, Individual retellings, of course, like modify.
Mm-hmm.
what town the family was from and like where they ended up, based on the surrounding area. But it does just imply that this family went into the woods, was like, all right,
Is it?
like this is it, and then just went full like wolf in the fact that they will prey upon anyone who gets in their territory.
That's kind of nuts.
Yeah. And then of course this doesn't help by the fact that like a lot of the Connecticut specific based legends have like the inclusion of a rustic single lane dirt road running through the
You
territory of
know?
these guys.
It's very, you know what? Yeah. No,
Yeah.
thank you.
So like they call one of the streets that this could happen on Dracula Drive.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So like
I know where I'm
there's
going.
no
This is my spring break.
there's no road. Like it's not specifically called Dracula Drive. They just call the road Dracula Drive.
Yeah.
So there's a couple different roads that could possibly be uh this specific Dracula Drive. So there's like Edmonds Road, Velvet Street, Zion Hill Road, roads around like a lake in Fairfield, Marginal Road, Jeremy Swamp Road, and like
Jeremy
any
Swamp Road?
Jeremy Swamp Road in Southbury.
Jeremy Swamp Road? Sorry.
Yeah, I guess there's
it's really good.
yeah. So like just because Connecticut has so many of these like secluded roads, there's a ton of like bounce off legends that are sort of similar to this. Like uh Danbury Frog People, Faceless People of Monroe, and the Mongoloid Village.
You know, I feel like okay.
We may talk about
Yeah.
some of those.
Well, one thing I wanted to mention was like we mentioned how Connecticut was like kind of like Britain, like just came over
Britain
here
too.
and like took the
Yeah.
map of Britain and then just like printed it on Connecticut. And was like, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like, one of my thoughts is like maybe they had like all this spooky shit in Britain because it's like the oldest, nastiest country, you know?
Did you just call Britain the oldest, nastiest?
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
okay,
you think about their
continue.
history, it's all nasty.
It is nasty.
Yeah, it's all nasty and old. So they were like, you know, they came over here and they started seeing, you know, new creepy, nasty stuff. They're like, oh shit. I'm just saying these British people were on the lookout for creepy, nasty stuff because they knew it, you know?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they got British big cats over there. Like,
Yeah, and they also just got ghosts of like a soldier from like the year 200.
mhm.
Yeah, they just got a lot of that. Ever read Hamlet? Shit's nuts.
Yeah. Oh, that's Denmark though.
It's okay. It's the same, kinda.
It is not.
It was devised by a
Hamlet
British
was-
person. How, you know, that's what I'm saying.
Uh,
Get those ideas from somewhere.
yeah.
And it's
I mean-
it's the ghost that lived in Shakespeare's closet.
I
Told
don't
him to
think
kill
that
his
Hamlet
dad.
is like the most historically accurate possible thing.
Look, he had a. It's a fact. He had a
Given the
ghost in
fact
his
that it's
closet and told him to kill
Hamlet.
his dad.
I mean, that's valid. You know what? I believe it. Shit. Life's already so goddamn weird.
Yep.
Yeah. No, time is weird. People are weird.
Anyway, there's a lot of freaky stuff going on in Connecticut. We're
Yeah.
definitely gonna add that to our list of our. I guess it's kind of like a hopeful journey of
A
at some
hopeful
point
journey.
of like
Maybe.
touring the U.S. and doing like a YouTube series on trying to find some shit.
Who knows?
Hopefully someday we'll add
Hopefully.
Connecticut to our stop.
Good God. Yeah, I'd love to go to Connecticut. I've never been, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty close
Yeah.
to me actually.
See, I guess like I don't like I did travel a bit, but most of the time I just go north. Like I just go to Canada and then exist up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I go to Canada because it's hard for me, I guess, to justify travel in the way that if there's nothing for me there, I won't go. So like I traveled a lot for conventions, but like
Mm-hmm.
other than that, I really didn't go much.
Yeah.
I went to Colorado and did like a national parks tour up there.
That's fun.
That was fun, but that's like the most traveling I think I've. That in California were probably like the most traveling I've ever done.
Yeah, I do a lot of traveling just for the fucking sake of traveling.
Yeah, I guess like I have a hard time packing, so traveling tends to be a bit hard for me.
Yeah. I've been
Because
to, fun fact about me, I've been to every state on the East Coast.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
My grandmother actually is one state away, I think, from finishing her every state in the United States.
Oh shit, what's the
Checkbox.
last one? Is it North Dakota?
Yeah, it's Oregon.
Oh fuck. If she saved North Dakota for last, they give you a t-shirt.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
love that. We may do that actually. You want to do that?
Yeah,
You want
let's
to go
do
to North
that.
Dakota last to get a T-shirt?
Yeah, let's get a t-shirt.
Hell yeah!
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this week's podcast.
Absolutely.
Episode on the Melon Heads. If you'd like to hear more about us and talking about the Melon Heads, where could they do that, Sid?
Well, if you want to interact with us as we record, we have a Twitter account. Our Twitter account is @oncryptids on twitter.com, and we post while we record our episodes. We post when episodes drops, and we post, I guess, like some cool, fun cryptid content. So if that's something you're interested in, follow our Twitter. It's the best place to get updates on what we're doing. It also notifies you when we go live on Twitch. And where can I find us there, Martin?
You can find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/themidcast. TheMydcast. The Midcast. It's a cool party of 2 hours of us doing some gaming, talking with you guys, and just generally having a good time. Last week we played some Jackbox games with some other people on our network.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can go tune into that and see what we were doing all there.
Hang out with us there.
Yeah,
It's
we
a
got
lot
that.
of fun.
We got that VOD still up for you guys if you want to see that.
Yeah, and I
and
think
you
the
can
VOD
tune in this
from-
week as well.
Yeah, the VOD from 2 weeks ago, I think, was me playing Overwatch for the first time, which was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. And if people tend to like content like that, we may look at branching out into a few different games. So if you have recommendations, leave them for us either on our Twitter or somewhere we can find them, and we'll definitely be taking those into consideration.
All right. Thank you
Yeah.
all very much for listening. And until next time,
We'll see y'all in the woods.